for days, and the lives of the often forgotten Ati tribe in Boracay. I featured all these stories, and through storytelling, I found purpose. At 22, I graduated with a degree in communication and entered law school, driven by a deeper desire to understand, to serve, and to advocate. And that same year, I took one of the biggest risks of my life. I joined Botyanang Davao 2024. And despite the doubts, the criticism, and the pressure to fit a certain mold, I showed up with grit, resilience, and purpose. And thankfully, I won. At 23, I became the host of Basta Dabawenyo, the official podcast of Mayor Baste, where we discuss national and international issues that matter to our people. And now at 24, I serve as a radio anchor for a program focused on the tourism sector here in Davao City on Disaster Radio, continuing to use my voice to inform, to tell stories, and to serve the community. So many people ask me, where did you get your confidence? Sa Bisaya, panganong baga kay kagnaw. Nataba na gani ka, pero di ka maulaw. Ano di ka mauwawhan? But my answer has always been clear. My confidence did not come from how I looked. It came from knowing what I could offer. I know that Davao City did not need a perfect beauty queen that could compete in the national pageant. It needed a mutya for the people, someone who could connect communities to the city government, someone who could speak to people from all walks of life, someone who could walk the talk, and I knew I had that. So even if society saw me as too big, imperfect, or unworthy of the title, I knew in my heart that I had what it takes. And on Coronation Night of March 2024, I proved that I was right. In the Philippines, pageantry shapes beauty standards. Whoever wins becomes the image that people try to emulate. Pag katong ni daog si Pia, tanan gusto mo rag kanaw na ni Pia. Pagkadaog ni Catriona, dapat kanaong natatanan ni Catriona. That is the reality in the Philippines, and that is exactly why I joined. I didn't just join to compete, I joined to represent. I joined so that little girls watching, girls who look like me, who felt like I once did, could see themselves on the stage and feel beautiful too. Because where else do you challenge beauty standards if not in a beauty pageant? But winning Botyanang Davao was not the end. It was just the beginning of a more difficult but more meaningful journey. I was met with resistance. I have been bashed 3 separate times. And no matter what I say in social media, may it be a simple picture of myself or a controversial remark, it always comes down to my body. Bisan dili na related ang akong i-post, ang comment yun ana kay lamunera, sobraan pagkaon, pageant pwede pero diet ayaw. From so many people, even from people that I know, that I considered friends. I was met with bashing, but I expected it. I even welcomed it. Because at the end of the day, I wanted conversations, dialogue, a chance to challenge perspectives, a chance to make people pause and rethink what beauty, worth, and confidence truly mean for a woman. And when the criticism came, I didn't shrink like I used to. I didn't hide. I worked. I showed up in every event of Davao City. During my reign, I visited over 30 schools. I helped build learning hubs in underserved and tribal communities, making education more accessible to children. And I turned it into an NGO that I still work on right now, one that continues to serve communities and create opportunities for those who need it most. I did all of that while still being tambok. And so at the end, to all the bashers, I say this all the time on social media, to all my bashers, you don't need to be payat, you don't need to be thin, you don't need to have pointy nose, you don't need to be white, you don't need to be fair-skinned to create an impact in society. What you can do and what you can offer to the world is what matters most in the end. My worth was never measured by my size, it was measured by my impact. And that applies to each and every woman here today. Your worth is not measured by how you look, but by the lives you touch, the courage you show, and the service you give every single day. I have such deep respect for our police force for keeping the peace here in Davao City, one that we are known for the most in the whole Philippines, even the world. But I hold even greater admiration for the women of the police force. Because you are not just officers. You're mothers who nurture, daughters who carry your family's hopes, sisters who uplift those around you. And at the same time, you are protectors, leaders, and frontliners. You carry roles that both demand strength and compassion, often all at once, often without recognition, and often without rest. And yet you continue to show up. You continue to serve and to protect. And for that, I salute all of you. Women have come a long way in history, from being denied the right to vote and access to education. We now see women excelling in fields like academics, science, politics, and law enforcement, spaces that once rejected us. Pero daghan pa kaayo tag kinahanglan buhaton. We've come a long way, yes, but there is still a long way to go. Women are still underestimated, still questioned, and still forced to prove themselves, especially in male-dominated fields. In the Philippines, the fight for women's rights is far from over. There are still women who live in fear of violence, women who are not heard, not protected, and told to stay silent. There are still double standards that expect women to do more, prove more, and carry more while being given less. And in many fields, especially in law enforcement, women are still underrepresented, still fighting to be seen as equally capable. But that is exactly why your role is so important. Because every time a woman reports a case and sees another woman in uniform, she feels safer. She feels understood. She feels that maybe, just maybe, she will finally be heard. Your presence does not just enforce the law, it gives comfort. It gives representation, it gives hope. Because of you, doors are being opened for women everywhere. Every day that you choose to show up, despite the challenges, despite the resistance, you show every other woman that there is space for her too. When one woman rises and stands her ground, hundreds more rise with her. Just like me, walking into Mutyanang Davao as a plus-size candidate, facing doubt, criticism, and people telling me I did not belong, you put on that uniform fully knowing you are stepping into a space dominated by men, and yet you show up. You lead, you excel, and in doing so, you prove every single day that you belong. That is why I've said in the beginning of my speech, what could I say? What can I say that you haven't experienced? That you don't know more? For me, as I've said, you are the women that young girls should look up to. You are the women. You are the role models that little Hanna should have looked up to. Because as I've done with my reign, I didn't focus on my looks, I didn't focus on my appearance, because I knew that even a big girl could do so much for the world around her. In the same way, you give us hope every day in your work, in doing your job, and in making the city feel safer. You prove that women are more than capable of doing the job right. So I salute all of you here. And I know that a woman's job is never easy. Kabalo ko, daghan sa inyo ha karon ang huna-huna wala diri. Napa sa balay, nagkaon na kato sila dito. Naon sa nakatong balay, nakayamukat na kato. Kanusa pa ba kung makauli, kay basig naunsa na ang balay, basig pagbalik na ko, anay balay. I know, as a woman myself and as someone who is very close to my mother, kabalo ko na a woman's mind is always on 24/7. thinking about other people, caring for other people. That is why I salute each and every one of you tonight. And I thank you for inviting me because I have been inspired as well. Pagsunod ka rin ako, ganihaan ako kay Ma'am Rose. Ma'am, mga pulis na silang tanan, ma'am. Ano mga gwapa, makinis silang tanan. I'm used to seeing you in work. Pag ato ko sa program, nagdagan kay pulis. Ma'am, sir, anak, pagsunod na ko, ala, pwede po di ay mag-pink ang mga pulis. Gwapa, bubuti ni sila. Parang proof na you can do the best of both worlds, di ba? Pwede mo gwapa, pero pwede mo astig. Especially itong katong video ni Ma'am, ganiha. Paano dito? Shucks! Ano, dapat ang baing, di ba? Astig na, gwapa pa. Di ba? It made me feel so inspired. I came here with the goal of inspiring you, but in the end, you've inspired me too. You've reminded me that women can be beautiful, can be pretty, can wear pink, but at the same time, she can also hold a gun. She can also manage communities. She can also make a city feel safer. And for that, in behalf of Davaoeños everywhere, I salute the women of the Davao City Police Office. Thank you very much.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Hannah, for that very inspiring, empowering message. Your words have not only reminded us of the strength and capability of women, but also reignited their commitment to continue breaking barriers and creating spaces where every woman can thrive and be heard. As a token of gratitude and appreciation, DCPO